Virgil, when you think about Amir Khan, they talk about him and Danny Garcia rematching again. How important do you think it is for guys to kind of avenge those losses, especially for Amir? I know that loss really bothered him. It's been a thorn in his side. How important would it be for him to avenge that fight? And how do you see that fight going now with you in the corner this time?
Well, I mean, you know what? If they ever did fight again, I definitely wouldn't want him to look at it as revenge, you know, or avenging or revenging. I don't want him to look at it like that. Just look at it as a second opportunity and, you know, try to set the record straight. If you believe he landed you know, well, I mean, the left hook wasn't a lucky punch. You can't say that was a lucky punch because he got up from that. That was just a punch that landed, right? I think a combination of Angel getting in his head early, insulting his culture and his race, I think that played a major factor into it. And then there's some other things about Amir, I'm not going to disclose it at this point, that I found out through having him tested. That can attribute to a lot of things that has happened in his career. And hopefully, you know, that will be, it can be corrected through exercises and drills, so to speak, not gym exercises, but type exercises that the doctors prescribe. I was really surprised to hear this was going on with him, you know. Physically. What I can say about it is he had serious eye issues in both eyes.
Wow.
And when he was diagnosed with it, it was like, man, this has been going on all this time. You know, it wasn't degenerative. It was just something. It's quite it's quite prevalent in kids who have attention disorder. Attention deficiency disorders, and I think he had been diagnosed as a kid with, you know, having that. So if we could correct that, that's going to go a long way in some things. Trust me, and he can correct it. It just all depends on his consistency and his diligence in doing the prescribed work for it. But I told him in the Danny Garcia, when I first met him and we first had a workout, I didn't go to show him no fancy mid-work or anything. I showed him in that fight where he went wrong. And the first part started before the camp when, you know, the dad insulted your culture and you took it personal. You know, right then somebody should have calmed you down and said, look, this exists in the fight game. If you can be insulted and it has effect on you, then that's what you're going to hear. And then the idea that he was winning the fight easily, but his intent on getting a knockout, you know, caused him to be reckless, and he left himself open. And, you know, knowing who you fight, the fighters come from different regions, and all fighters have different tendencies that come out of different regions. That's why I always say it's very important to have the amateur experience as a coach, particularly with kids on the national level, because that gives you an opportunity to go to national tournaments and see the fighting styles of all the kids from different parts of the country. There are different fighting styles and different philosophies depending on where you're from. So, you know, not taking nothing away from Danny Garcia, if he hadn't got stopped, I don't know the outcome of that fight. He might have got stopped 2 rounds later. He might have got outpointed. Hard to say. I can only go on, you know, when he was being successful, and then, you know, when the fight was stopped. That's all I can do.